How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about MMAT, metamaterials. I know it's been a little bit since I've done an update video for you guys and I've been getting the messages. So here it is. So let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. There's a lot of volatility inside of this play, and I want to make sure that you guys are prepared. And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. Are institutions loading up on shares? And as far as shorts are concerned, how heavily vested are they inside of this play? And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions loading up on large scale orders? This tends to actually show a bullish signal for the stock. We're going to find that out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for MMAT metamaterials. So we can see it closed the day at $3.01, being up 3.44%. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, it traded at 10.771 million, and as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, being at 13.511 million. So we did have below average volume, but we ended up seeing some green on the day. Do keep in mind, I took a quick look at after hours. We did break through the $3 level, so I wanted to make sure I brought that to your attention. But of course, this is at the time of the recording at 4:45 p.m. When we take a look at the indicators on our chart, we're using the 1-year daily chart. We could see from the RSI down below, it's right around 39.72, so it is in the oversold territory. When we take a look at the 100-day, of course, we are below it. We take a look at the 200-day, we are below that as well, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And like I was telling you guys before previously, you do not want to see MMAT being well below these indicators for an extended period of time. You'll end up seeing pullbacks. That's why there's no surprise here. We ended up testing $2.80, and we actually talked about this being an area of support. So if we continue to have the weakness that we had inside of the market, especially coming towards the close, then the next area that you want to be looking out for will be right here around 258. Yes, I'm being very clear about that, around 258. If this area does ever decide to end up breaking, then of course you're going to want to see how well it can hold up right here around 211 as well. So I'm not saying these areas are going to be coming, but I just want to make sure you're prepared, because again, you need to know what your downside risks are. Now, as far as a reversal is concerned, we ended up testing $3.16 on the day. So what you'd want to look out for, you'd want to see it actually gain some strength above the 316. Right? So as far as seeing that this week, that is very possible. This is a small cap stock, and there's a lot of volume that comes through it. It could do it. But if it doesn't do that, of course, it can pull back. But as far as you want to see something very bullish from this stock, then you're going to want to see it come back to reclaim the 21-day EMA right here around $3.61, and then you'd look forward to seeing some more momentum. So now you guys know what to expect, and make sure you have a game plan and a strategy around it. So we're going to be taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for MMAT. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we could see here right away, yes, we do have some puts here, but we have to keep in mind of the fact there's a lot of institutional activity in regards to buying, and you can see this from the green positions, right? And we're going to be taking into consideration not the 17th or the 16th, even though it is very right in front of your face that institutions have been loading up. But as far as for today on the 18th, in regards to the filings to be exact, hey, we still have some shares that are being purchased by institutions. But most notably, what we want to go over throughout this period of the 18th going all the way down to the 17th, we could see here Investco Limited went in with over 680 85K shares. And we also have Booth Bay Fund Management that went in with just over 86K shares. So that is good to see. So when we take a look at the short interest information here, scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 500,000, updated 7 minutes ago. And as far as for the short ball free rate, it is at 1.89%. Taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the 16th close, it's at 53.72. And as far as for the 17th close, which was yesterday, it was at 51.31. So it went down a little bit. It'll be very interesting to see what the numbers will be later on in the evening. But one thing we do know for sure, that MMAT does have short squeeze potential. But with that said, do know this comes with a lot of volatility at the end of the day because it is a penny stock. So hope you guys found this helpful. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for MMAT. So we can see here on the inflow is at 6,876, and then on the outflow 7,414. So we had 0 on the large for both. On the medium we had 4,077, and then on the small we had 2,799. As far as for the outflow side, we had 4,406 on the medium, and on the small we had 3,008. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see there are no inflows whatsoever except for the 12th where it was at 10.27. But we had a big time outflow day on the 16th being at 959.17, and of course zeros being on the 18th and as well as on the 17th and on the 13th. Just wanted to be more exact with you guys. So taking all of this data into consideration, institutions are not loading up heavy for MMAT. So what this means is the volatility that you're currently seeing inside of the stock, it is not surprising whatsoever. And it's part of the reasons why when I do the technical analysis and I show you guys the downside risk, it's very important to take that into consideration so you can formulate the right strategy. So as far as demand is concerned and purchasing of shares of metamaterials, it is not there at the current moment. So we'll have to keep an eye on it and see how well it progresses as days go by. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for MMAT metamaterials, there's a few things that we have to take into account. When we went on Fintel, we can see as far as the filings are concerned, institutions have been loading up on shares, and these are significant amounts. So this is good to see for anyone who is actually holding long to medium term. Now, when we took a look at the short interest information, of course, it continues to have that short squeeze potential. But again, it needs to have more volume coming into the stock. And the best way to get this is through a catalyst. This forces buying pressure so we can end up seeing some strong moves to the upside. Another thing to go over, when we went and took a look at the order flow distribution, institutions have not been loading up heavy on large scale orders. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind, as far as for the small and as well as the medium sized orders, there could be some positions that are taken in these particular areas. But again, it does tell us as far as large scale orders are concerned, it is not there at the moment. And with all of the volatility that we have going down inside of the market, especially if you notice this with a lot of medium cap stocks, small cap stocks, if companies are not profitable or if they're not showing great earnings, then of course they are not going to be rewarded. So I want you to be aware of this and just know that you do your homework, you do your due diligence if you're inside of this play, so you can come up with the right game plan that is right for you. Hope you found this video helpful, and we'll be talking real soon.